when does a man truly reach the point of adulthood? Is it when he lives to a certain arbitrary age, when he's expected to be mature enough to undertake countless unwanted responsibilities? Is it when he understands the world around him to the point where there's nothing more that necessarily needs to be learned? Or is it simply when the things that amused him as a young boy no longer appeal to him, now that he's wiser and more cynical? Whatever the answer is, it's safe to say that I've reached that point in my life where I can no longer consider myself to be a simple child.
I'm here.
Reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, I fight this fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold tide. Always the new horizons.
If you couldn't figure it out from that opening speech, I think I might have outgrown Sonic. Why? Because I'm not a fan of Sonic Frontiers, and that means I'm part of the same group I once thought of as old farts who couldn't come to terms with the fact that their Sonic's a thing of the past. Rush Transistors 3D, too many gimmicks, boost to win, etc. And now, there's me. But why wasn't I impressed with it? Why did I feel like it was disappointing? Well, to figure that out, we've got to play the game. Actually, no. Let's instead go back to before the game was released. Of course, it was first used back in July of 2021 with some footage of Sonic running through a forest. I joked about it being a remake of Sonic 06.
They didn't mention it, but Sonic runs through a field.
About a year later, IGN got a hold of a demo for the game, and they got to demonstrate the open world and the combat. Most people thought it looked terrible. I thought it looked like Devil May Cry. Don't ask me. That was pretty much all we got, save for Sonic having an oddly deep voice.
Amy? Is that you?
Then that cute animated prologue a few seconds before the game released. Oh, and some music. Sound the alarms, it's censored. The game was finally released in November of 2022 to mixed reception? Honestly, it seems to me like most people are complaining about bad reviews that don't exist. I blame Twitch, of course.
Oh yeah, a little game called Mario.
Anyway, enough talking. Let's get into the game. By pressing start, you get to choose difficulty of the game. Let's go easy. I just finished the game already and want to speed through it again for the sake of this review. I was going for high speed mode because this is a Sonic game and not half-steam camera. The game begins with a cutscene of Robotnik doing not good things. Very not good things. He hacks into this tower and breaks the entire freaking world for a few seconds. Some really old robots pop out of the ground, confirmed as such by Robotnik calling them
The ancient secrets.
and then he gets sucked into the tower. Meanwhile, somewhere in the sky, Tails is flying Sonic's old Tornado 1 with Amy in the back and Sonic himself on the wings. An obvious callback to every Sonic game that's featured the plane. It breaks, and thanks to Eggman's not gooding, it gets sucked into a portal. Welcome to the game proper. You're set in the same kind of Sonic stage that you've known and loved since the year 2008. Comfort food. I stood still for the first few seconds because I was looking for straps.
It's not an innuendo, it's...
Anyway, the first stage is a tutorial stage, so I just boosted through it. Nobody cares, move on. Notably, the stages end with portals instead of goalposts or giant rings or whatever forces you used. And your rank is entirely based on time. But before you just plan on going straight to the end without doing anything else, your rank isn't the only thing that matters. See these missions? They're gonna come into play soon. Anyway, now that you've finished the first cyberspace level, that's what they're called in this game, you're slapped into the open world. This is what you've been waiting for, the thing that was in every advertisement. But before we can let you move at all, we gotta make sure you know how to operate the camera using the right stick, just like every game ever. I hate it when games do this, just let me go. Once the game finally does, it points you towards some switches. Hit them, and it fills in part of the map. I think it's supposed to be like towers in Breath of the Wild. It's also one of the best parts of the game because you actually have a reason to do it and you know what you're gonna get. Afterwards, you see a couple of enemies and you're introduced to the game's combat. It's reasonably similar to the other Sonic games, except you have to press the Y button to perform a homing attack instead of it being a jump button. Also, by mashing the Y button, you perform more attacks in quick succession, like Shadow in 06. See, I told you it was a remake. Anyway, kill the robots, show them take one hit each, go the villain's path, and a few boost pads later, here's more one-hit enemies. They even get their own cutscene. After that, you go a little further, and blam, new enemy, the Ninja. This is, perhaps, one of the most interesting fights in the game. No gimmicks, no frills, just you against an opponent your own size, and you have to read his attacks and outdo him. When you defeat him, and unfortunately it's pretty easy, he drops a gear. What does it do? Stay tuned. Anyway, this door opens, and here's some statues. You have to turn the one in the middle so it faces the same way as the other two. This apparently qualifies as a puzzle. Afterwards, you're introduced to what those blue chips you've been collecting do. you can unlock more skills. First, it's a cycle loop, a very important mechanic that much of the game was built around. I don't find it fun to use, but it's a quick way to get rings. Just put out these flames, come across another tower. You activate towers like this using gears like the one you got from that ninja. Problem is, you don't have enough, so the game spawns in a new type of enemy, the tower. There's a lot of different types of towers in this game. Tower enemy is clearly designed with the cycle loop in mind, but that's no fun, so just pummel it. Blam. Done. Easy. New gear. Now we have enough to use the tower back there. You're supposed to call them portals, but here's another cyberspace level. It's fun. I don't know how to explain it another way. It's just fun. What happens afterwards, however, is not fun. Remember those missions? Yeah, completing those missions gives you keys. And those keys unlock the Chaos Emeralds. It's not like how it was in Sonic Colors, where getting the Chaos Emeralds and unlocking Super Sonic was basically just a bonus thing. No, you actually have to get them to fight the boss. That means there's a decent chance you'll have to replay some of the stages to beat the game. I don't mind that, but I'm only interested in getting S ranks. I don't care about the red rings, the gold rings. Sonic is not a collectible. Thankfully, I got enough keys, so let's just scale this mountain, and there it is. Really trying to sell it, aren't you? Oh, and I should probably mention the reason why all this footage so far has looked like crap is because OBS decided to do this for some reason. I got it fixed in the next session, but it still doesn't look great. Just, I really have a terrible computer. So the game clearly points towards another tower, portal, but it also tells you to get some points. So instead of using the portal, you go around it, and that monster behind it, and hey, look, there's Amy. Gotta keep that rascal locked up, but the game demands that you set her free. Kind of. Problem is, she's still like 65% code, so we gotta not give two flying flips about her, and instead go play some more cyberspace stages. No, wait, you don't have enough gear, so go fight this monstrosity. It's called Ozzy. It's called Ozzy. And I want to get back to playing these two classic Shadow Colossus. But the Ninja was the most fun boss. Ozzy is by far the coolest stage boss in the game. We're playing our whole hand in the first 20 minutes. Great design. What this thing does is it slaps its hands on the ground and you climb up its arm and attack its weakness. I feel like if there was a Sonic 06 boss that worked like this. Once you finish off one weak spot, however, it starts throwing speed boosters that send you in the opposite direction. The weak spots get guarded at the bottom by lasers. So make sure to ration out the damage you deal at each weak spot, or else you'll get lasered. Beat him, gear, portal, cyberspace, 2D section, crap. One complaint I have with the boost area is the overabundance of 2D sections in what's supposed to be 3D Sonic games. I was hoping that we'd finally get a fully 3D Sonic game with this, since we haven't had one since 2006. But yep, 2D section. And it's just like the rest of them. Homing attack trivializes the combat, no spin dash, no rolling in general, and the boost. At least doesn't kill enemies anymore, so it doesn't entirely break the game. Short, but I doubt I'll be able to say anything about most of them, so beat the stage, get the keys, unlock the next emerald, and here's a cutscene with Robotnik being locked in cyberspace. Skip. This isn't a story review, this is a gameplay review. The last time the story mattered in a Sonic game, a little girl got shot in the face, and Robotnik peed on the moon. Let's go get that emerald. And here's an unskippable cutscene where Sonic meets face to face with that thing from the Showdown trailer, and also this little girl on the stage. She tells him to
Leave. Immediately.
Sonic ain't leaving without his friends. Titan kicks up some rocks, Sonic do-what-he do, and then you get to mash the thing's head, except you're doing nothing to it. Throws you through some structures, and Sonic instantly decides that he's
I
gonna
need the Chaos Emeralds.
And now, the worst part of the game, which also happens to be the bulk of the game. Remember how I said that Sonic isn't a collectathon? Yeah, so Sonic Frontiers is a collectathon. You have to gather a bunch of memory tokens, those heart-shaped things that you sometimes come across, to progress. It wouldn't be so bad if they were just scattered all over the place like rings, but no, they're actually quite scarce. You'll occasionally drop from enemies or cycle looping, but it's rare enough that it's not worth trying. So where do you find them? Well, there's some marked on the map. Great, so what's the problem? Display some markers and walk over them. Except, no. They're placed at the end of these crazy trick sites, so instead of just being able to walk on top of them, you have to look for the unmarked grind rail, boost pad, spring, or climbable wall that'll send you to another thing that'll eventually convert you into a single token.
And on that note, the world design is something I've been dreading since the IGN video. It feels like a technical demonstration stage from one of those fan-made 3D Sonic engines thrown together in a few hours just to see how certain objects interact with one another. There's no cohesion, everything feels segmented and clashes with the otherwise beautiful Sega Hire This Man scenery. What they should have done is something more akin to a giant skate park. Or if they just absolutely had to make the world look realistic, they could have shifted focus away from the classic Sonic platforming and turned the game into a fully blown character action game like Devil May Cry.
And I can almost just end this review here because it's too much collecting and the world doesn't make sense of my two basic criticisms of the game. But come on, we only have 2 Chaos Emeralds and that Titan looks like it could take a beating. So let's keep going. Thankfully, since we're still this early on in the game, there's enough of these things where you can cycle around them and they give you 8 tokens each, so it didn't take too long to get enough for. It was at around this time that I finally decided to unlock some new moves, notably the air trick. Anytime you get sent in the air without jumping, just flail the control stick wildly for some more skill chips. It's really satisfying for no apparent reason. Anyway, we gave Amy her tokens and she tells us about this baby Coco who lost his lover. Now, go get more tokens. Yeah, how's about screw you, lady? I'm gonna do everything except get your stupid Lucky Charms. I did some more cyberspace levels, discovered that the spike bug from Sonic 1 lives on, unlocked another Chaos Emerald, sketched out a decent portion of the map, and then finally decided to get the memory tokens. Trust me, I'm screwing around for a reason. You gave Amy her memories, and I had to play this minigame where you roll a bunch of Cocos to her, but the thing is, they crap bombs. Does that make sense? It's kinda boring, very annoying, you have to get 50 of them in 1 minute, but when you pull it off, you get a Chaos Emerald. Wait, what? What the hell? Amy had one of the emeralds? Why didn't she just give it to me? What was she gonna do with it? Has there been a Super Amy in any of the games? I don't think so. Look at that, now she wants even more tokens, of course, back to the grind. But at least there's another battle with the ninja not too far from here. The game tells you how to parry, which will be very important later on. After defeating it, I finally got around to collecting that Chaos Emerald I unlocked a while back. I also unlocked a new move, the Sonic Boom, or as I like to call it, the Instant Win button. Just press ZL while in the air and you'll demolish anything that isn't guarding itself. It completely trivializes combat. And I found the Hermit Coco, who you can talk to in order to use those seeds you've been collecting to upgrade your stats. Red ones, which also look like hearts, upgrade your attack, while blue ones upgrade your defense. A good mechanic in theory, but in reality, it means you have to get more things. Again, Sonic Frontiers is a collectathon. Right beside him is this really stupid puzzle that has you activating switches to create a grind rail that leads to another island. And then you do it again to create another grind rail that leads to another island. This island has a portal. This is the first one where I finished all 4 missions, and when you do that, you get an extra 3 keys. So at the very least, there's some extra incentive to go for the red rings, though I still question their necessity. And I unlocked another Chaos Emerald, to be retrieved soon. Anyway, tokens. Then you talk to Amy, she gets a cutscene, I skipped the cutscene, then you need more tokens. Women. It was around this time that I finally got max rings. When you do that, it's the same as if you've leveled up your speed stat to the maximum of 99. And yeah, you have to level up your speed stat. For some reason I kept trying to get this memory token up here, but eventually I just got a bunch of the others. When I got enough, I was stopped in my tracks by another tower enemy. The instant win made quick work of it, though it still hit me a couple times. When it went down, it spawned in a spring, but I had to talk to Amy first, so I ignored it. Welcome to another minigame, mowing the lawn. How do you do that? What else? Drawing circles on the ground. It reminded me of Kicks for some reason, but this is nothing like Kicks. For starters, Kicks is fun. When you mow enough lawn to get the necessary 7,000 points, Amy gives you another emerald that she was holding onto for no reason. Now we can get the other emerald using the spring that tower crapped out. Another Eggman cutscene that you can skip, and now we have to collect even more memory tokens. I wonder if she's gonna give me the last Chaos Emerald. I found the Elder Coco. By using the lost Coco you kidnapped throughout the game, you can be a good boy and give them back to the Elder in exchange for more speed or a higher ring count. Why you need to upgrade your top speed in a Sonic game of all things when it should start at the maximum is beyond me, but hey. Guess what? That means there are even more things to collect. And even better, the upgrading process takes darn near forever. After taking a few more whacks at that token, I finally found what I was looking for this whole time. The fishing spot. No more collecting anything. By using the purple coins to find scattered throughout the world, you can go up to one of these portals and join Duke Nukem from Sonic Adventure 1 for some fishing. It's relaxing, it's easy, and it mitigates the collectathon. I'm not even typically into fishing minigames, but this one is good because it takes out all the bad parts from the game. That being, the game. By fishing, you get tokens that you exchange for basically anything. The harder the catch, the better the coin. You can also get gold cards which can be exchanged for one anything. For 5 tokens, you can get a memory token. 8 gives you a portal gear, 2 gives you a seed of either variety, or you can spend 15 on a Chaos Emerald. Perhaps the most disturbing of all, for 3 tokens, you can nab 20 lost Cocos. This giant cat who most people prefer to think of as a molester, is selling literal children in bulk for pocket change. For some reason, I was still dead set on playing the game throughout the entirety of my first playthrough, and also for a bit longer in my second. So I got some more tokens for her the good way, and then she wanted more. That's when I started cheesing it. I fished for a bit, bought a couple more tokens, and it wasn't even enough, so I started cycling the ground until I got the last one. And then she wanted even more. So I went back to Plato Cat and caught a few stingrays and scrolls. I forgot to mention that you can catch scrolls that let you fast travel to the elders and hermits. Finally, she did something after giving her God knows how many tokens. This is a fun laser puzzle. You have to rotate these structures so that the lasers line up with what's on the ground and unlock the laser Titan. But if you rotate one, you rotate some of the others. The final picture looks like a falcon. Wait, did I say the Titan? Oh, yes I did. I only have 6 emeralds. The last one just so happens to be on top of the Titan's head. You have to climb up the thing's leg, Shadow of the Colossus style, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why Azura existed. So, get the emerald.
I'm hanging on to the other side. I won't give up till the end of me.
Welcome to the final boss of this world, Giganto. You're playing a supersonic, they're playing metal, this feels like a climax, and it's whatever. I've seen loads of people act like Giganto is the best thing ever put into a game, but it's really nothing. Just mash the Y button and occasionally parry its swiping attacks. He eventually fires a laser once you've dealt enough damage to him, which just means more mashing the Y button, or he'll try to eat you, which means, oh yeah, more mashing the Y button. There's absolutely no challenge to any of this, it's just a spectacle. There isn't even a lot of that. Even the music isn't that good, though I'll just blame that on the fact that I got into Tool a few weeks before playing the game. One could argue that the thing that makes the boss fight good is that you tried to fight it earlier on and did basically nothing to it, only to come back stronger and beat it without effort in order to show off how powerful the Chaos Emeralds are. However, for one thing, the amount of references to the older games with the dialogue makes it clear they expect you to have played at least a decent chunk of the earlier games before this one. For another thing, this was done so much better in other games that are decades old. Chrono Trigger, 1995. Fight the final boss at basically any time, you will get absolutely obliterated every time. Mandatory 5 that have full power halfway through the game and get beaten so hard that the main character actually freaking dies. Mega Man X, 1993. Fight this crazy guy at the end of the first stage who nearly kills you. You get saved by your friend and he tells you that you'll get stronger. At the end of the game, that friend sacrifices himself to help you take down the crazy guy and you blow him up without any issue. Even Sonic 3 from 1994 did this better, with Knuckles outright punching the emeralds out of you and being a thorn in your side throughout the entire game as you break into his house and finally get your comeuppance. And then he befriends you. And don't even get me started on Metal Gear Red. The trick is to introduce it more than an hour and a half before you fight it for real, and also to have it demonstrate its full power rather than just shrugging off a few whacks in the face and throwing it into a wall. Oh wait, right. That actually is its full power for half the fight, and that was actually just a one-trick pony disguised as something tough. And don't even try to pull the it's the first boss, it doesn't have to be difficult. Because, yeah, sure, it's the first boss. But that doesn't mean it should be effortless. It just means it should take less effort. So that's over with quickly, and you get this cutscene where it blows up. Is that Chaos Zero? And you get the emeralds knocked out of you, and you're slapped in the desert. Now you gotta find the emeralds again. The game isn't over yet. And now for another rant. They've officially taken away everything I looked forward to in this game. It's not one giant open world like Breath of the Wild or Nier Automata. It's a bunch of smaller worlds like Super Mario Odyssey. And on top of that, there's only 5 of them. How long did this one take me? 1 hour and 48 minutes. Yeah, sure, you could look at the time it took me for my first full playthrough. Nearly 15 hours, almost enough to justify a $60 price tag at 15 minutes per dollar. But I guarantee you, a lot of it was spent either keeping the game on by accident, or waiting on the Elder Cocoa to max out my stats. And also, having to find the Chaos Emeralds again cheapens the emeralds. I'm probably the only person on Earth who liked the idea of reserving Supersonic for the final boss in most games, because it made it feel special, like he could only break out the Chaos Emeralds when he needed them most. Now, he needs them most multiple times through one game, and doesn't even get the justification of being able to use it at any time. When everyone's Doomsday Zone, no one will be. Anyway, Desert World. Well, would you look at that? You can actually see things now. But that's gonna come at a cost that you're gonna see, and actually you kinda already have. This is easily the worst area in the game, but we can talk about when that is later. First things first, we gotta find another one of our friends. This time being everyone's favorite thorn in our side, Knuckles! And to save him, we need to find memory tokens! While searching for his tokens, which now look like medals instead of hearts, proving once for all that Sonic ain't gay, I came across the first stage boss of this island.
Strider, which has absolutely nothing to do with the actually good Capcom arcade game of the same name. The Ares stage bosses are nowhere near as good as the ones from Chronos. This one is based around rail grinding. You have to ride these hoops until you trace the entire thing, and then you get sent to the next one. When you're at the boss itself, you have to trace 3 hoops while avoiding the boss's electric attacks. The first phase is perfectly fine as the electricity is stationary, but the second phase sends balls across the track almost as fast as you do, and I haven't found a single way to dodge them without jumping off the rail. After finishing that thing off, it's back to the grind. I found a portal on the way, which means another cyberspace level. Once again, the stage is really short, so the only thing I can really say about it is I have no idea how I got an S rank. I swear I'm normally good at wall jumping, it's just that the right-hand Joy-Con is fighting with me. Right outside the portal was just enough medals for me to free Knuckles. Now that we've freed him, it's time to find more portals, which to me means unlocking more fragments of the map so that I know where they are. Problem with this world is it's gigantic and labyrinthine at times, so you'll end up seeing mirages of portals that end up just being rock formations or walls. Also, again, instant win button. Eventually, I found the Hermit Coco. I guess now's a good time to mention that I got a physical copy of the game for Christmas, and it came with a download code for extra items, including more seeds. I thought of it as cheating, so I didn't use it. For anyone who wants it, screw you. A couple of springs later, and I'm face to face with the sumo. This one's a neat concept, but it ultimately falls flat due to not being particularly intuitive. What you're supposed to do is latch onto the walls and fire yourself at it so that it hits the electric walls. Logically, a head-on collision would deal the most powerful blow, right? Nope, you're actually supposed to rebound off as many walls as you can before hitting it, and you still have to avoid the electric spots. Yes, this is how video games ought to be. Bull. This took me, I kid you not, over 5 minutes. After that one, I ended up coming across the tank boss, which is even worse. I'm convinced there's no way to avoid its attacks other than not fighting it at all. It killed me. Thankfully, after losing to that, I finally unlocked the part of the map that reveals 2-4. Where'd the other 2 go? Not like I was able to access it anyways, because it looked like it was blocked off by a plot-relevant reservoir. Instead, I found the third one right next to it. Blam! All 4 missions down. Let's go get that emerald. But first, the only remaining type of stage boss in Ares, the shark. I never actually took the time to fight it during my first playthrough, and it should have stayed that way. It's like Egg Cerberus from Sonic 06, only instead of grabbing its horn and trying to smash it into the wall, which was actually fun, you grab its tail and do a bunch of boring QuickTime events. There's only one game in existence that got away with using QuickTime events, and that was Dawn of Blue's 1983 classic Dragon Slayer. You molest the control stick a bit, and then you pummel it, but then you have to do it again. It's easy, but it's not fun. After that, however, was something good. Remember how I said that collecting purple coins wasn't that big of an issue? Introducing Starfall. On some nights, a bunch of star bits from Super Mario Galaxy will fall from the sky, and you can eat them to start a roulette. You can get up to 30 purple coins with each bit you swallow. If you have the appetite of a pink Luma, you can easily get enough coins to skip the entire game. But I never found the Ares fishing spot, so it doesn't matter right now. Anyway, you get the emerald, and you get another unskippable cutscene introducing this Island's Titan. This time, it's a chase sequence, and unlike most chase sequences in most Formula games, you have complete and total control of Sonic, meaning it's like the ones from Sonic 06, only programmed more, competently.
Final warning. Leave.
Gladly. Now we talk to Knuckles. I already gathered plenty of medals from that long and obnoxious search for a portal, so there was nothing to worry about there. Then you talk to him again, which, again, I have plenty of medals. The problem this time is that he's stuck in an area that can only be accessed in one way. So you have to comb the entire area to find the one entrance, or you can just drop on him. Oh. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drain this reservoir. You need to pick up this rocket. How do you do that? Cyclooping, of course. That makes perfect sense. I kept trying to pick it up using the attack button before giving up and using the handy training simulator, which told me in no uncertain terms that, yeah, this game makes no sense. So you pick it up, load it into the tray, and hit the clearly marked bullseye. I remember during my first playthrough, I thought I was supposed to hit the chain, guessing that I was supposed to shake it so that the floating thing would lose balance and come crashing down. It's floating in the air. How does that even work?
You can't feel this heat.
Maybe you should have shaved your body. Now we need to get some more keys. I tried getting up to 2-4 again now that the reservoir was drained, and there's a spring that leads to a grind rail that leads to the portal. Of course, I can't show any of that because I have the worst computer known to man, and
Overloaded.
did the stage, got all the keys, and unlocked 2 emeralds at the same time. Wait, what? That's never happened to me before. I don't know if that's happened to anyone before without the cat.
It happened. No, I'm not fighting another shark. I got one of the emeralds. Had to talk to Knuckles before getting another one. Thankfully, he was out in the open this time. Now we have a minigame. You have to bring these soldier cocos, yes, soldier cocos, to Knuckles without getting crushed by these things. By carrying more cocos, you go faster as the soldier the crushers and the cocos stack vertically. But I mean, how fast can these crushers move, really? Oh! Okay, so we'll only be carrying a few at a time. Still pretty easy, no time limit, and guess what? Knuckles was keeping a few Chaos Emeralds for himself, too. I guess that's at least justified, since he actually has a super form. You talk to Knuckles again, you get an Eggman cutscene, skip, and now it's time to get the other emerald. Sonic points out a wall with a hole in it, so of course the emerald must be in there. There's another Strider, not interested. The emerald is located at the end of a long platforming challenge. This one's okay, since you were pretty much directed to it, but trust me, it's gonna get worse. After getting it, we had to collect more medals. It's not really as bad as it was with Amy, since Knuckles is so far away that by the time you reach him, you only need one more, and it's right beside him. But that's how it is for the rest of the world, but it'll bite you in the butt later on. Wait, well, we're going to him, might as well do another cyberspace level. 2-7, one that's actually long enough for me to talk about. It's a solid level. Of course, with it being a 2D boost level, it's not particularly layered, and it's a bit heavy on the bottom of the pits. It's still fun to blaze through. The red rings are placed in positions where they don't break the flow too much, and the level itself is a decent challenge. I feel like it revolves around crumbling terrain and things you have to hold on to a bit too much, but it's by no means a deal breaker. Except for this part, I don't know what happened here. And I unlocked another emerald. This one is not going to be fun to get to. Back to Knuckles. I had to deal with this thing before I could talk to him, and now we have to do the Cocoa Roundup again. There's only 15 of them this time, thankfully, and the bombs they spit blind you. Great game design. You don't even get an emerald from it, you have to defeat these towers for that. I guess the towers are at least fun, though. It's like a mini Azra. You run up each one and pound its skull in. Now you had to find even more medals. Again, however, it takes longer getting to them in the first place than it does actually collecting the medals. Looks like you're close to him, but you're not. There's a wall between you and him. This is what I was talking about when I said I was gonna bite you in the butt. This desk's thick and easy to get lost in. Knuckles, stupid and belligerent. So he always ends up in the last place you'll look if you follow the radar. It'll only get worse as time goes on. If and when you finally find Knuckles, it's time to get the next Chaos Emerald. But wait, this jerk stole one of mine. What kind of nonsense is that? And then you get to where the emerald's located. I spent God knows how long riding the same grind rails thinking that's how you're supposed to get up there, and then I missed something. I even went so far as to fight and beat the tank boss nearby, hoping that something would spawn, but no. Nothing was there to help me get up there. I was in the wrong place. See those ring structures over there? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, ride those things. And they start way over here, far away from where the emerald is. Then when you get the emerald, you have to find Knuckles again. You know what? I hereby sentence Knuckles to the skinning machine. I'm tempted to just show you my unedited footage of trying to find him to boost the length of the video, since it's clear they only did all this to boost the length of the game and make it seem like it's worth $60. But I'm not gonna do that because, for one thing, I'm not that much of a douchebag, and for another,
Loaded, overloaded.
so instead, here's this.
This is necessary. This is necessary. Life feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on this is necessary. This is necessary. Life feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on this is necessary. This is necessary. Life feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on this is necessary. This is necessary. Life feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on life. Feeds on necessary.
If, and I do mean if, you find him and Mr. Crying Carrots, you skin him and play a crane game, putting balls in holes. The depth perception is awful, though that could have been that it was 3 a.m. when I was playing, and when you finish the puzzle, you unlock the final battle of Ares, the Titan, Wyvern. So you climb this tower, not an issue, and then you have to homing attack the Wyvern, which leads to one of these Starlight Counterflow auto-run sections that I've always kinda hated, even more so now. If I wanted to play Temple Run, I would be playing Temple Run, not Sonic. Thankfully, after that, you get the final emerald and the battle really begins. It's a marked improvement over Giganto because it actually does things. You have to parry these missiles, which causes it to swipe at you like Giganto, and you can only attack when you parry that. Still not great, I've never been a huge fan of bosses that you can only attack sometimes, but it gets the job done, and it's over with quicker than Giganto. Afterwards, you get another scene with another Chaos Zero, and guess what? You get blown away, lose the emerald, and you have to track down another friend.
I'm gonna pick a fight with someone if we don't get hypersonic at the end of the game. I've never heard of a more unique name for a Sonic thing. First things first, unlock part of the map. We got these new block puzzles that are probably supposed to remind you of Tetris, and if you unlock a new skill in the middle of one, you have to do the whole thing again. I was not aware of that. This is the first time I failed one. The map challenges are still the best part of the open world. On that note, the ability I unlocks with a quick cycle loop, which allows you to simply press X during any combo and immediately break any form of guard the enemy might have put up. Combat has officially been completely trivialized. Back to the actual thing we have to do, finding the next guy is an ordeal in and of itself to the design of this place. Remember how I said the open world's level design felt like a tech demo? Yeah, that becomes a problem here with springboards, launch pads, and grind rails placed in a way that makes it darn near impossible to get where you want to go. Want to go forward? Screw you, here's this amalgamation, you're going up. They're even hidden in the same chest spots that would normally have gears, keys, and memory tokens. Speaking of memory tokens, where are they and why do I keep getting keys? Eventually you get to this building, which comprises a long 2D section in the open world, and on the other side of it you find your friend, the dog. I hate dogs. They're rowdy, they eat their own crap, and they destroy anything you leave on the floor, but you're expected to love them just for existing. So here we have a dog requesting memory tokens, which is just peachy since I haven't found a single one. Wait a minute! Tails' memory tokens are wrenches, which, if you've been playing past midnight and you're really tired, look almost indistinguishable from vault keys. Doesn't help that I actually did get a key earlier on. There's also a time that I was getting fed up with the cutscene that plays when you get max rings. Look at this! Looks cool, right? Think it'll still be cool the 50th time around? Because it plays every single time you hit the ring cap. You can make it stop by upgrading your speed stat to 99, which means having to sit through this, which isn't much better, but at least it ends. Anyway, we need to get enough wrenches to free Tails, and that nets you a different take on the instant win button. Cross Slash, clearly named after the move from Final Fantasy VII, is a flashier, albeit less effective version of the Street Fighter-inspired Sonic Boom. Instead of staying in one spot and holding out until you hit the ground, you strafe around the enemy and it lasts for a fixed amount of time. Let's go try it on the Shinobi stage boss. I believe it's a retread of the ninja from Chronos, but you have so many ranged attacks that it just goes down instantly. Shame. The mission at hand, however, is getting keys. There's a portal right next to me. In, out, perfect score, vault's open. What on earth are these pipes for? Here's another one of those map challenges. I'm mentioning it in particular because there's something the game doesn't tell you. These boxes, you have to go through them in a specific order. I don't know why you have to, when better games like Sonic 06 allow you to go through the Shoemaker's rings in any order as long as you got them within the time limit. We got sidetracked, so let's talk about me getting sidetracked. I thought that in order to get to where the emerald's located, you had to grab onto this bird, Kingdom Valley style. No, that's not what you do, you just get lasered to death. What you're actually supposed to do is screw around for 10 minutes until you find the right grind rail that'll take you to a different island. And when you find it, blam! Starfall. Now you gotta consume well above the government's suggested serving size of bits in case you stumble upon the Duke's Chaos Island fishing spot. Which you won't. I went to the next island during Starfall anyway, and there was a portal on it. And I gotta ask Sega, what is up with you in bottomless pits? I get that this level's based on Sky Sanctuary, but this has been a problem in a lot of the levels across the Boost Formula Sonic games. This isn't Super Mario. Chill. Back to the hunt. I found the ground rail that would lead me to the next island, and... What was that? I had to do some investigating. Okay, you can't hit the spring, you'll get sent straight up and lose all your momentum. Even if you boost, you'll fall. But I jump before hitting it. Done. Flip that. Turned out I was actually supposed to come from the other direction. I got to the next island and the laser bird's back. Still can't grab onto him. Final grind rail. This one leads to the island of the emerald. Let's go. Let's go. Best game ever. Alright, finally got the emerald, and now I'm being chased by this Discord's Titan. This was the hardest part of the game to me when I first played it, but I one-shotted it this time. I'll just blame it on the fact that I played on normal my first go-around. Here's some things you want to know. That gear is an OHKO. If you even tap it, you're gonna have to start from the beginning. The ground will give way under you if you're not constantly boosting. Your boost is cancelled when you jump or when you land, so this is gonna trip you up. If there's a part where you can get on something that isn't purple track, get on it. It's guaranteed to be a lot faster. If you can get past this, you've beaten the game. Alright, time to find that dog again. Thankfully, I don't need to collect any more wrenches. From this moment onwards, I will always have plenty of wrenches, because there's too many grind rails in this world. There's tails inside of that thing. How do you get it? Trial and error, of course, it's the Chaos Island way. Can't skin him, since I'm the one who's lost and not him. It's alright. I don't mind. Yeah, I know, people's ears are already bleeding from the last time I sang, so let's just slow down that. Also, the squid is here. Never figured out how to hit it, so no thanks. Eventually, I ended up on this structure with a bunch of lasers. I absolutely despise this thing, but thankfully, you only have to deal with it once. I will not only be dealing with it once. When you get through it, you'll take a ramp that sends you to the hockey puck that the dog is on. He unlocks the computer all the way over there, and now we have to go there. I came across a portal but didn't have enough gears for it. Where could I get one? No. I used to ride on this ramp and it sent me away. No. Well, thankfully I was able to get out of it by jumping and then falling to my death. Hey, does anyone want to see me do that again? Because I'm going to do that again.
I'm an idiot. And after that, I spawned right beside that ramp, looking around and... Oh, okay. And there's Tails, who wants me to activate this Death Egg robot. Makes perfect sense, just turn on the Eggman machine that made 90s kids around the globe suffer. What could go wrong? Here's a hacking minigame. It's a shooter, like it is in better games. You have two types of bullets, and they destroy enemy bullets of the same color. I have yet to play Ikaruga. If you shoot down enough bullets, you get a screen nuke. Of course, it can't be too fun, this is Sonic Frontiers, so you're stuck at the bottom of the screen, and you're only able to move left and right, like in Galaga and Gore. When you destroy the core, you can give yourself a pat on the back, because Death Egg just blew a giant hole in the ground. Good job, Tails, we just destroyed an edge of preserve, and we're going to jail. I have no idea what happened to Sonic's hippie trash environmentalist match. Regardless, blowing a hole means a new character to explore. Going in puts it into an arena match, it's done. Alright, it wasn't actually that easy, mostly because I wanted to try out the new cross slash, and that requires pressing 3 buttons on the right-hand Joy-Con. Again, not a fault of the game, more a fault of Nintendo's controller design. It's also been the fact that, well, it's late at night, and that's on my right hand. What's I saying? Anyway, the enemies down here create spikes on the ground in a ripple pattern. It's obnoxious, especially since they can poke you in the butt without warning, but once you stop trying to be flashy and start doing the reliable thing, they go down without you having to break a sweat. After you defeat the spike enemies, that's the long way, there's a quick fan section followed by some homing attack spam. Then there's this part, which reminded me of something from Mega Man X7, but I couldn't tell you what. There's another arena with the same enemies, another corridor, and then there's this room with chest box and vault key. This is apparently enough to unlock the next emerald. Look at that, actually good design from this game. And it's nearby, just gotta get out of this. This is a very long tunnel. Unnecessarily long, it just keeps going and going, and when you're out, there's a map challenge, so you might as well do that, and after that, you have to figure out how to get out of it. I take back what I said about this part being well designed. Eventually, I got to the emerald after another pointless 2D section. You get the emerald, the game tells you to find the dog, and it spawns a ramp. I missed the ramp, tried to climb the rocks, lost my footing, and ended up tricking to my death. Worth it. After successfully taking the ramp and getting thrusted into yet another 2D section, you arrive at Tails, who, if I didn't skip this cutscene, would be talking about how this little Coco is missing his hero, Snoopy the Flying Ace. That joke would have landed a lot harder if it was released during the 4th quarter of the year. I like this dynamic going on, fleshing out the world with an endless war. We got the working weapons behind, we got the army, and now we've got the Air Force. All it's left is the Navy and maybe the Marines. Who's the enemy though? Robots? Chaos creatures? Each other? Are we even playing both sides? Are Goku's even old enough to fight? Am I looking too deep into this? Does overthinking and overanalyzing separate the body from the mind? Is that an Elder Coco? Show me that you love me. Upgrade this, upgrade that, still not fighting the squid. We found the dog. Here's a minigame. We have to rebuild this laser, but we don't have parts for it. So Sonic has to pick up 600 nuts and bolts within the span of 2 minutes. You get these by attacking these crates and then picking up the parts that drop on top of collapsing platforms above lava. You simply don't have enough time to get everything you need. I had less than 15 seconds to spare when I beat it. And yeah, Tails is also harvesting Chaos Emeralds, stupid dog. And then I have to find him again. Bounce around for a bit of eternity, get on this grind rail, there he is, talk to him, find him again. At some point, he mentions that he needs to stop carrying in fear the slightest hardship and step out of Sonic's shadow, no doubt because of the events and forces. I don't remember when all this takes place, and of course I skipped every cutscene I could, so I'm just going to talk about it here. Tails, you are a dog. You are here to amuse the hand that feeds. Stop beating yourself up and stick to your role. Alright, now that that's out of the way, we need to get more vault keys. The genius level designers placed the emerald right here just to taunt you. So, we're on the hunt for portals. There was one earlier that I couldn't access, so I headed for that one. In my infinite wisdom, I didn't think to mark it. I found another map challenge though, and it's bad. There are a few of these in areas too, but I didn't think to mention them. These ball puzzles are the most obnoxious things ever. You have to hit these balls so that they go through these rings. No problem, it's a physics puzzle, right? Try again. Nothing makes any sense. The rings that are lower to the ground, easy, just jump above the ball and slam it down. The ones that are level with the ball or higher than it, entirely up to chance whether they're even possible to hit. Never goes in, even when it logically would have been a straight shot. Could just be that I suck at physics. After that, however, there's something that's actually good. The spider. This is the best stage boss since the guys from Chronos. It's got multiple phases. The first one, you take out its legs, kind of reminds me of a few bosses from DMC 5 and Metal Gear Rising. Then you attack its body, and it sends you up to the sky where you have to collect rings and avoid bombs. This part won't always be fun, but it is now. After you get through that, you pummel it while it tries to run away. Great boss through and through. And then we're back to the slog. Thankfully, I finally agreed with the intelligence to, mark the darned thing. Level contained this portal is focused on... And I only got 2 keys for it. Not enough, back to the hunt. For Christ's sake, I thought we learned our lesson on going in there. Of course I went through with it, no matter how many times I could have spared myself, because I'm the dumbest man alive. When I finally got out, I bookmarked the map challenge spot and went around the volcano. The map challenge didn't give me the location for any more portals, so we're back to the search and the bird is here. The torment will never end. On that note, another ball!
Well, at least it showed me the location of the portal, and I still don't have enough keys after doing it. What do you want from me? More map puzzles, still not a portal in sight. Until this one kind of just appeared out of the blue. This one takes 2 gears, and it's another one that relies too much on bottomless pits. For the last time, stop trying to be Mario. After beating the level, I finally have enough keys to get the emerald. There's also a cutscene with Sage and Eggman. Skip. I probably shouldn't have skipped that one, however, because there's something I really hate in the story coming up, and I'm gonna talk about it when it becomes relevant. This place is really hard to navigate. Alright, I got the emerald. Skip the cyberspace cutscene, climb tails, who tells you the bridge is out. Here's some more garbage. Remember that really fun falling part from the spider stage boss? Yeah, do it again here, only this time, it's bad. You're put under a really strict time limit, and everything about the minigame is designed to waste your time. These Death-Egg-style golden loops will waste your precious seconds and then sometimes spit you out higher than you were before. What used to be bombs is now an endless array of upwards-facing springs. Also, you can only take 3 hits from enemies, so you better hope your controller doesn't act up on you. I had to try again 3 times on this. Whoever designed this is going on my hit list. This could have been the worst part of the game, but don't worry, it's gonna get worse. So you get down, lower the bridge, and get another emerald. Tails wasn't even over here. Where did it come from? Starting out the cocoa, they swallowed from the jewel itself. Who knows? Who cares? We gotta find the dog again. I ended up down here, and I have no idea what this place is for. We've got some floating monoliths that you can climb on, and I feel these should have been used more often throughout the game. The only evidence I can find that suggests they were supposed to be here in the first place, however, is that there's a spring right here. After getting out, I came across a chasm with tails on the other side. I thought I was supposed to take this grind rail, but it just sends you 180 degrees and spits you out where you started. You're actually supposed to go around this way, and there he is. Now we need more keys. Shouldn't take too long this time, right? Right? Okay. For starters, it took 3 map challenges just to find the portal, and there was a stage boss right beside it. The fortress is entirely on grind rails. You have to chase it down by boosting and use these blue rails to recharge the boost. It's fun enough, I'd rather just be done with this game. Oh, and also that cyberspace stage? Yeah, it's just chemical plant again. It's just a straight up chemical plant. There's nothing about it, it's just chemical plant. Because no one, absolutely no one is tired of retreads of Green Hill and chemical plant. No one needs to remember Spring Yard or Mystic Cave or Lava Reef. No, just bring Green Hill and Chemical Plant back again a bajillion times. Yeah, that sounds good. Whatever. At least it's fun enough, and I have enough keys. How do I get the emerald? How do I get the emerald? Well, for one thing, it's Starbits. Starbits. So I haven't had a rod since Chronos. Seriously, what am I doing? Alright, so the emerald is sitting on one end of this thingamabob, so logically I'd have to get on the other end and ride it out. There's nothing over here that sends me up. A lot of things that send me the other places, but none of them send me up to the spiral. Instead, you're supposed to be on the side that does have the emerald, and you launch yourself with this random spring. You can spiral in, spiral out, keep going. I fell. Let's try that again. Grind rail, spring chain, wall run. I fell. There's a checkpoint this time, so I didn't have to do as much. The part where I fell was pretty much the last part where you could fall, so I got the emerald and was back to looking for that darned dog. And he's right there, and... Oops. Stop trying to tell me random places. Alright. There he is. He opens the door, and now it's time to place a pinball. Good! 5 million points in 3 balls. And these are some of the worst pinball physics known to man. I typically love pinball minigames. The nice pinball table and Sonic Adventure is my favorite part of that game, but the thing is, that actually controlled well, and you can keep trying at it until you got enough rings. The only way you could lose them if you lost all of your balls and ended up in Fakery Way. Plus, you needed far fewer rings. There are multiple tables in one. Here, there's only one minuscule table, smaller than the tables for pinball games on the Atari 2600, and as I said, there are no physics. Pretty much what happens is that you hope that the ball either hits one of the red ring multipliers, or gets stuck in one of the corners and stays there without getting bounced down to one of the far shafts, and the multiplier resets if you lose a ball. This took so long that by the time I was on my winning game, it was 3 or 4 in the morning, and my sister was telling me to turn my game down so she could sleep. She typically stays up longer than I do. Here's a montage. This is about the point when I realized that this game may not actually be good. But at least never have to do it again. Now it's time to enter this crater that just opened up and fight the Titan, the Knight. First up, gotta get the emerald. And this first part is like a bigger version of the spike enemies from the underground arena. It slams its hands down and you ride the grind rails that make up its arm until you reach its leg. Then you just run up its body until you reach the emerald on its head. Not as extravagant as the Wyvern, but it's not as obnoxious as that either. It's fine.
But then when you get the emerald,
Here it is, everyone. The worst Titan. You may think it's okay at first, just parry its sword and start wailing on it, but then it blocks you with its shield. Where are you supposed to do next? Right the shield. It's that razor blade from earlier, so it should do plenty of damage. The problem is hitting it with it. It's hard to aim the shield from Knight, and it shoots out missiles to bounce you away from it. If you end up out of bounds, try again. It actually does do plenty of damage though, along with stunning it long enough for you to do as much damage as the shield did, and then some. Eventually regains its composure though, and you have to do the thing with the shield again, and this time, you have to hit it twice for it to do damage. Even more fun! After you hit it a second, or more accurately, third time with the shield, it goes into its third phase, which is somehow just as bad even without the shield surfing. The Titan stops trying to attack you and instead just circles around the crater aimlessly while its shield bounces around. You have to parry the shield and throw it into the Knight. Simple enough, right? Well, the Knight still moves at a crazy fast speed after you throw the shield, and there's a good chance it'll change direction while you're throwing it. Not to mention that you might not even be able to hit it in the first place, as you only have about 90 degrees of aiming. It's even worse when it's off screen, which it often is, because then you just have to guess which direction it's going. This entire section is designed to waste your rings and nothing else. Hell, the entire boss is. I'm shocked that I managed to beat it with over 100 rings remaining. This is easily the worst Titan in the game, so naturally, it has the best music. Take a listen.
Will the whole world know your name? When we dance with destiny. I've been there and I've seen it. I'm never gonna stop believing. You'll find your
That almost made the entire boss fight worth it. So you slice it in half. Chaos lives in everything. And take a wild guess as to what happens next. Emerald gone, new island. Let's go find another Oh. Alright, looks like we're shutting down these towers first. There's not a lot to say about any of them, though I will admit they are fun and I suck at them. It also took me a bit to figure out how to get out of here. What I can say a lot about is the cutscenes that play after you unlock each one. The Ancients, or as I've been calling them up to now, Chaos Zeros, created the Titans as a way to combat an alien menace that threatened their existence. This might have also been what the Coco were fighting against, or maybe the Coco were fighting the Ancients. I don't remember whether it's discussed much further in the game, so I'm just gonna throw my hat in the ring and say the Cocos were fighting amongst themselves in the background of the war between the Ancients and the aliens. As for the aliens were, I don't know. We haven't actually seen a lot of aliens in the Sonic games. Most final bosses in the series were created by either Eggman or his grandfather, or were found in the depths of Mobius in the case of Solaris and I think Dark Gaia. The only real aliens in the series that I can think of are the Deadly Six and the Wisps. Now, I've never even touched Lost World, so as far as I know, the Six might be the blatantly obvious answer that was actually confirmed somewhere in the game.
But more delicious?
But I doubt it. So that leaves the Wisps. I mean, this is the first game since their introduction in Colors that doesn't even mention them, so yep, the Wisps it is.
Oh, they're right there, fat thing. The name is Fishboy. And unlike Fishboy over there, I don't chuckle. I'd rather my nuts. The lisps. What are they gonna do? Tickle your red? No, that don't make no sense. You know what? You know what does make sense? You know what that makes sense? It doesn't make sense. Alright. I'm only 18.
Okay, no idea what that was all about. Anyway, after shutting down the last tower, Sonic's whole jumping between worlds stick finally catches up to him and he succumbs to cyberpsychosis. This is nothing like the thing from Cyberpunk Edge Runners, but it sounds a lot cooler than he has a bad headache and dies. Now, in order to save him, we have to play as an ancient and explore the rest of the actually good Rhea Island in order to gather the Hyper Emeralds and bring him back to life so he can fight the final boss. I'm just kidding. That's the end of Rhea Island. You may have noticed that I had the third session listed twice. That wasn't a mistake, I did these both on the same night. And he gets saved by the power of friendship. Of course he does. Can we stop with the whole you need to get lit friends thing? I don't need friends. I have jerks on the internet and I have my sister. That's all the socializing I need. From now on, the only way you can get away with the moral of the story being like people is if your name is Kingdom Hearts. Oh, and it gets even better. Eggman's out of cyberspace now, and as per the advice of Sage, his own creation, he joins Sonic's side, or more accurately, he has Sonic join his side. I am sick of tired of white heroes against gray villains. I get it, having the hero and the typical Saturday morning villain team up to fight something even bigger is a cheap ploy to give the villain more depth and make the bigger and eviler thing look even more threatening. But this used to happen all the time, and I am tired of it.
This is the guy who nearly wiped every trace of anything from existence multiple times. He wouldn't cower behind his sworn enemy at the sight of some robot that was sealed away from being too powerful. He'd go and try and control it. And Sonic just goes along with being recruited into the Eggman Empire. This is the game that comes after he gets captured and tortured by the Empire for months on end while they take over all of Mobius. This goes beyond Saturn drags you down like a stone, consume you till you choose to let this go. This goes straight into I have no personality beyond pretending to be snarky and must follow whatever the writers want me to do because status quo. I know I said I wasn't going to talk too much about the story, but my god. Story rant aside, welcome to... Ignore the armor, I just downloaded the Monster Hunter DLC. Alright, first objective, not finding your friend, but instead we've got to find some keys. First map challenge already shows us the way to a port, so let's bounce our way and... Sage's memory tokens. Alright, so we won't be saving any more friends. Tails, Amy, and Knuckles are all that we're getting since nothing exists past the year 1994. 1998. There were all those callbacks too. Hey Sonic, remember when you killed Satan? You mean when I was a werewolf? No, you traveled through time! Oh yeah, and there were 2 of me. Also, why are Sage's tokens hearts? We're getting some sort of love triangle on our hands? Alright, I'm at the tower and I don't have any gears. Time to go exploring! And here's another ball challenge. This is probably the worst one since you're expected to have the ball slide on the ground in order to get into the rings. And it's not communicated to the player that the ball won't disappear when it touches the ground like it normally does. After that, I just kept getting bounced around and sent to completely random places, and I got a gear from a random enemy. Let's just take this and blam, portal. Also, just want to mention that one of the loading port training sims, it was just how to move the camera again. 4-2. Great level, fully 3D. I only got 1 key from it. It's gonna happen a lot throughout this world. I got another key in the overworld, and that unlocked the first vault. That's 1 emerald in the books, now back to finding gears and portals. And what do you know? There's a stage boss right here. The red pillar is a rehash of the tower stage boss from Chronos, only with the spike power from Night. It's good, but it's also something you've already fought before. It also has this laser attack, and it's invincible when it does it. That's no fun. Beat it, get the gear, go to a portal, here we go. 4-1 has a brief skateboarding segment, and guess what? 1 key. Just outside the portal were these enemies. I absolutely despise them because you can't get away from them. You just have to sit there and parry their headbutts. No skill involved, just hold down L and R until they're done. After running away from them, I found another one of these falling block map puzzles, and this is the first time I've legitimately failed one. I got it the second time. After bouncing around a bit more, I encountered another stage boss, the Kunoichi. It looks like another ninja, so let's just instant win this guy. He's blocking it. Alright, just use a quick cycle. Holy moly! I actually have to fight this thing, and it hits like a truck. Never mind, I parried 1 attack and it's already dead. Also, it turns out the next emerald requires 5 more keys. Scratch that, 4 more keys. Hey, Armit, what you got for me? Wow, I can see the portal level ahead. No, come on! 4-3. I didn't just get 1 key this time, I got 2. I went out of my way to get the red rings. After that, here's another stage boss. The silver hammer is a lot like the red pillar, only instead of spikes, it has a second laser. And now for another map challenge. This one where you had to catch this ball took me forever because of the camera. And you know what? It's been a while since we've had an explicitly mediocre stage boss. Here's the caterpillar. It's like the Strider, but less interesting. You collect blue spheres on a rail grind, then more blue spheres, then more blue spheres, then you have to homing attack some golden spheres to get the last blue sphere, and it dies. But after beating that thing up, I had to fight the Master Ninja. This is what the Kunoichi should have been. Difficult and fun. There's this one attack where everything slows down and it imitates Great Tiger. Each clone it creates will come after you one at a time, and you have to parry it, but then it shoots a laser. The last hit won't even touch you, though. After this is this Zelda-style mirror puzzle that I really like, and it's right next to a portal with a cyberspace stage that ended up resetting a lot because I was desperate to get more than 1 or 2 keys. I still only got 2 keys. Still enough to get the next emerald, though. Found another map challenge on the way, and darn it! Alright, that's another emerald in the bag, now it's time to find Sage. I'm guessing she found one. Nope! She wants me to activate another bridge. No, wait, no. That was terrible back on Chaos Island. I don't want to do that again, it's a hacking mission. And now we're back to finding vault keys. First map challenge across the bridge is one of these light panel ones, and I think 20 might be a bit much. After hitting enough panels, the map shows the way to the next portal. This cyberspace level, 4-4, focuses on hitting switches. And when you know it, 1 key. 150 rings! What? Back to doing map challenges. I tried to climb this tower, fell once, and gave up. I also like how this specific map challenge ends. What you do is you use Psych Loop on these glowing things, and on this one, the last glowing thing was right on top of the chest spot, which means I also got a free key. Immediately after that was another fight with a red pillar, and then another go through the boxes challenge that I almost failed at. That one unlocked the way to a portal, and an elder, but more importantly the portal.
I got 3 keys from 4-5, the most I'm ever gonna get from any of these, and it was still not enough, off by just 1 key. I did a few more map challenges before realizing there was already a portal marked on the map. Then I encountered the red pillar again, but I ran away because it was Starfall. And then I ended up fighting those things that you have to parry. Still did a few map challenges after that during the same Starfall, simply because they were kinda sorta in the way, but not really. One of those showed me the way to another portal, so I did that one instead. There was a little puzzle involving tuning forks and a piano that I had to do to get to it. Easy enough, and... last key was just sitting there on the ground. Alright, well, I'm still doing the cyberspace stage. 4-7 had a lot of fans, and I was really desperate to get this one red ring. 3 keys, D rank. Okay, now we can get the emerald. Hold up, Hermit Coco. Okay, now we can go. Not now, Red Pillar, I've got an emerald to get. Go to the other side of this chasm. Where's the bridge? Okay, here I am. It's the top of this tower that I was trying to climb earlier. Now to get more keys, Sage is definitely not pulling her weight. Anyway, I forgot about the portal that was already on the map and went for more challenges. Eventually, I found the way to... oh man, the fishing minigame. Finally, I can skip the rest of the game. Meeting up with the Duke again, we could spend... oh my lord.
I decided to just fish until I got some sort of fast travel. I was really getting tired of getting bounced around everywhere except where I wanted to be. Didn't take too long, just enough time to burn over 150 coins and get over 500 tokens, and I only got the Hermit Scroll. I decided to exchange a few tokens for gears, seeds, and children. I marked the portal that was already marked and teleported to the nearest Hermit, which was still a bit further away than I'd like. Turns out the portal's on top of, I don't know what you call this, not exactly a cave, and under it is another caterpillar. Got out of the way for no reason. Now 4-6. Another chemical plant, 2 keys. Back to the map challenges. This one's cute. You hit a bunch of switches around a structure. After that one is for Christ's sake. And a block puzzle that has a solution that's way too obvious if you're paying any attention to the pieces at all. And another go over here challenge that's even crazier than the last one. I remember during my first playthrough I didn't even know this was a challenge and it took me forever to get to it. And then I went back, saw the marker, hit the hourglass, and saw that I had to do it again under a time limit. And hey, look, another portal got added to the map. And it takes 3 gears. Let's see what it's about. 4-9. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Can't stick around, have to keep moving on. Guess what lies ahead? Time to end it. 1 key. I've gotta stop joking about suicide. There's also only 1 map challenge left, and it was a nighttime one, and it was daytime. I just had to sit there for a while, get up, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, take some saline, go to the kitchen, take some Zyrtec, some Dayquil, refill my water bottle, grab some string cheese, and all that waiting was so I could cycle the tree. What is this game? Maybe there's an actual way to skip the nighttime, but I'm pretty sure I'm just thinking of Final Fantasy 15. And yeah, that's the end of the fun map challenges. I've unlocked the entire map. The entire map. There aren't any more portals. And I still need more keys, which you get from portals. Yo, grab that. You got some keys for me? Turns out I was 11 keys short of finishing the game, so yeah, it's a good thing it's got enough. Problem is, none of the fast travel spots are close enough to the emeralds, even after unlocking portal fast travel. So I went fishing for the Davakian Elder Scroll. I also switched to my old right-hand Joy-Con for a few seconds, hoping it would work better than the new one. It was worse. I switched back immediately. I also got a couple of skill pieces for no discernible reason. Now that I have the Elder Scroll, it's much more convenient to get the remaining emeralds, and I even upgraded myself using the children I bought. Speed it up all far, I haven't got all day. I eventually upgraded myself to a point that I considered good enough and got the remaining emeralds. Next up is memory tokens. Yeah. Back to fishing with the old. Why is there an alligator here? Alright, after getting enough fishing tokens for the remaining memory tokens, we can finally go talk to Sage, who's hopefully going to introduce us to the Coco Navy and complete the military, or she could just have us hack the door to the 6th emerald. And Robotnik found the last one, so basically Sage did absolutely nothing. Great job! Now it's time for the final boss, Supreme! A multi-phase boss combining traits from every previous stage boss and Titan for one ultimate, hour-long, insanely difficult showdown as Giganto again. And it takes like 5 minutes. Yeah, there's these bullet hell things and parrying is all but useless, but it's still just a repeat of Giganto. I wasn't kidding about there being multiple phases though, kind of. There's this one part where it turns invincible until you destroy one of the diamonds, and then it pulls out a gun. And then it goes back to doing the same thing until you kill it. But wait, there's more. After defeating Supreme, its inner workings take on a physical form, the moon. You're sent to outer space, where all good final bosses in the Sonic series are fought. And you press the Y button 3 times. That's the end of the game. Robotnik nearly cries over the death of Sage, his daughter, and Sonic comes back down to Mobius and hitches a ride on the tornado with his newly resurrected friends, and Sonic Boom is canon now. That's it. There's a post-credit scene of Robotnik hitting the new stage button on his computer. The end. And hold up, where's John St. John? You mean I wasn't fishing with Duke Nukem? Who was I fishing with then? Kamina. Alright, that's still pretty cool.
Simone, yours is the road that will break through the vault of heaven!
I hate dubs. Alright, let's wrap this thing up. What did I like and what didn't I like? Well, for things I did like, the cyberspace stages were fun, mostly, and the map challenges were fun, mostly. I also like the fishing minigame and a few of the stage bosses. And I didn't mention it, but if you beat the final boss on hard mode, there's an extra boss where you play as Sage, another bullet hell shooter, only with full control, and it's probably the best part of the game. I didn't record it. I didn't even know about it until after I was already writing the script. So that's why you're seeing Toho footage right now, but the actual thing is really good. And one last positive for the game, the music. It's a Sonic game, it's gonna have good music. I've always been a sucker for soft piano songs like in the overworld, and the cyberspace stages are one of the last vestiges of dubstep in the 2020s. And of course, I'm Here and Vandalize are both fantastic, along with Find Your Flame. Not even to rap, and I love it. Of course, a lot of the music has an issue with the lyrics sounding, well, calling a Sonic song cheesy or corny is like calling a Nomura game convoluted. What were you expecting?
青春コンプレックスを刺激する歌以外なら何でも
And now for the bad stuff. The combat is pointless, there's only one move that matters. Most of the stage bosses are either obnoxious or go down with one push of the instant win button. The Titans are all horrendous except for the Wyvern. Exploration is a pain. You have to collect things in a Sonic game. All the buttons are switched around. You have to upgrade your max speed. Doing so takes forever because the Elder Coco is a dinosaur. Where the ball puzzles exist, it's impossible to find anything in Outer or Chaos. The grind roll structure looks out of place on top of the likely procedurally generated background. You get bounced up and down and all around everywhere except for where you want to go. There's insane amounts of popping. No post-game content outside of that one extra boss I mentioned. You can't return to islands you already completed. All about combat exists and are morally obligated to laugh at anyone who used it. And the whole game lasts only 10 hours. Yeah, my first save file says I played the game for nearly 15 hours, but those extra 5 hours were probably spent forgetting that I left my Switch on and sitting through the Elder Coco.
But overall, do I like it or do I not? Well, of course I like it. Yeah, I mean, how could I say that I don't like a 3D platformer? I like Sonic 06, I like Mega Man X7. I have no bad opinions. I mean, come on. Let's just face it, it's fun to take the crap out of something. I have no idea why people pretend to be happy all the time with being cynical. It's just so fun. But yes, of course I like Sonic Frontiers. There's only, 5 games that I don't like? I mean, there's Chrono Cross, Metal Gear Solid 4, Super Mario Sunshine, Minecraft, and Sonic Frontiers. Alright, so yeah, this game sucks. 4 out of 10. But at the very least, it's going to be the only one of its kind, right? They'll probably go back to what actually works. Hopefully some sort of Adventure 3, because my favorite is Adventure 2. So, yeah. Hopefully. Sonic is dead. But I think it's time to face the facts. I'm 18. I'm an adult. I'm no longer the target audience for these games. Times are changing, and the series has to change with them. This game was made to introduce new fans to the series, the ones who got their start by watching the fantastic Sonic movies. The kids are the same age as I was when I got my start with Zero Gravity and Colors. And also be able to play those games, and Generations, and the adventure games, and heck, I still haven't beaten Unleashed. And something happened between the 5-year wait between Forces and Frontiers. My teenage years, when I stopped being a boy and became a man. My peak platformer phases ended years ago, and Sonic wasn't there for it. That's why I was so let down by those games. I missed the bus. I don't know if that bus is ever coming back. For now, just have to accept that Sonic isn't for me anymore. Pass the torch on to the next generation. And I can't. I have to destroy this. And I know exactly how.
Jason Bond's daily always found his soul filled with hope. I can taste a mythical it's false hope perhaps, but the truth never got in my way before now. Feel the sting, feelings I buried down. They're gonna add stuff to the game later on. False hope perhaps, but the truth never got in my way before now. Feel the sting, feeling time buried down. Bearing down.